tuning in to Houston Real Estate Radio this Sunday afternoon. I'm Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. This week we've got a great show lined up for you. Want to start with our call-in number, though. If you've got a real estate question, you can call us here at the studio, 281-882-8088, and we'll be happy to answer your real estate question right here on the air every Sunday between 6 and 7 p.m. If you're a big fan of Twitter, you can tweet those questions over to us using hashtag HRER. We also take videos of all of our shows. So if you miss any of today's show, if you catch part of the show and want to hear the rest of it, you can go to HoustonRealEstateRadio.com and watch the videos of the entire 1 hour show. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started here today. I've got a couple people here in the studio with me today that you do not want to miss hearing from. Really great information for you. I've got Jim McAllister and his daughter Hydie here in the studio. And they are both with McAllister Investment Real Estate in Houston, and but don't always just focus on Houston. Work in quite a big area of the states here. Jim McAllister Sr. is the founder and principal of McAllister Investment Real Estate. It's a private real estate investment and management firm. And back in 2013, McAllister Investments closed its latest fund after raising $58 million. McAllister Investments will begin offering new investment slots in March. That's right now, here in March, for its new 2014 fund. If you're interested in that, McAllister Investments' principal focus is undeveloped and developing land parcels located in Texas and that Sun Belt area of the state. With a master's degree in both engineering and finance, Jim brings over 40 years of successful real estate experience and wisdom to his investors. And in 1973, he founded the McAllister Companies, which is an organization that formed partnerships with high network individuals and institutions. So you're going to get to hear about that today on the show. Throughout his career, he's closed over $1 billion in real estate transactions since 2002. He's had 7 real estate funds, which had over 230 million assets. You've been very, very busy, haven't you?
I have been.
All right, his daughter Heidi's here. Let me tell you a little bit about Hydie. She began her commercial real estate career with McAllister Company back in '91. She also, from '94 to '99, she worked in the commercial division of Stewart Title, where she sourced over $400 million in commercial real estate transactions requiring title insurance. And back in 2002, she rejoined McAllister Company as a land broker and was responsible for sourcing and closing over $50 million in transactions of the $250 million in land transactions completed by McAllister Company between 2002 and 2008. Back in the summer of 2008, Hydie co-founded McAllister Investment Real Estate, bringing with her significant experience in capital formation, asset selection, due diligence, and investor relations. Hydie has been instrumental in forming the current $50+ million land fund offering, overseeing the property acquisition side of the firm. And as of the end of 2013, she's been involved in land transactions totaling over $65 million. Y'all are just all busy in your family, aren't you?
Very busy.
And you must love real estate, because that's Absolutely. A lot of work. So tell us about McAllister Investment Real Estate. Jim, this has been your company. Tell us about what you do, because it's different than a traditional real estate brokerage, obviously. What do you do?
Right, well, what we do is we use intense research and try to determine the direction and rate of growth of Houston.
Okay.
And then we try to buy in front of that growth.
Okay.
We use land only. We do it for cash only because we are risk adverse.
So your investors don't have to worry.
And we shoot for an internal rate of return with our investments somewhere between 18 and 22% per year, compounded back to the investor. And we've been able to achieve that. This downturn has kind of knocked a niche into that, and so we'll be about 15%, but compared to other places and other places you could put your money, we did real well.
So the downturn was actually beneficial for you, right?
Well, it is right now, because we're making some wonderful buys as properties recover in value, and there are people out there still in distressed situations, and we can pick those properties up and step in with a bank who has some mortgages that they are not comfortable with, and so it's been really good for us.
So tell us about the private equity fund and what you're raising money for.
Okay, well, we are raising money primarily to buy land in the passive growth that will mature in 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
All cash. So, we, again, risk adverse, but still with a nice rate of return.
All right.
Okay.
In Houston, have you ever before seen the growth that we're seeing now with the amount of people that are moving here from the state, from other states, and internationally? Have you ever seen this growth before?
Not this much, but Houston has had a history of growth that goes all the way back to the 50s. And we've always outperformed the rest of the nation. But right now is just an unusual time. We are growing now over 100,000 jobs a year. This year we probably won't make that much, but we've been running around 100,000 jobs a year, and that's huge.
With all the lot shortages that are going on in the Houston area, what are your predictions for builders and developers over the next year or two?
Well, for the next year or two, I think we're going to continue to have lot shortages. And the reason for that is that the banks are not willing to come out and step up to the plate and finance acreage tracts necessary to extend the development. They will, in fact, finance the development of a section where they're going to put lots on the ground, streets, and have something marketable in lot form. They will do that. But then right now we need 250 to 350 acres to form a utility district because all of the properties that had utilities are gone.
And so in order to form a new utility district or a whole new subdivision, they need to be able to get financing, more financing.
Well, they need to end up creating enough value in that area such that when the bonds are floated to pay for the utilities, that the taxpayers living in those districts can amortize that obligation without having a burdensome amount of payment coming out of their pocket as a percentage of the value of their home.
All right. Hydie, you purchase land that's about half the current market price for comparable raw land. Who's usually incented to sell at that price? Where are you finding people, that will sell?
The beauty of what we do is the connections that we have and the people that we know. I work with all brokers in the city or any city that we're looking at property. Currently, we've purchased property in San Antonio, Austin, Houston. I'm communicating with some brokers in Fort Worth and in Dallas. I have a broker out of Atlanta that has presented me some options in Georgia. So I really rely on the brokerage community. We are not a brokerage firm. We're an investment firm. So we are trying to, I like to say, stay out of the pockets of the broker and let them do what they do and let us do what we do. Having been a broker, I understand what they go through, so I can help them. The people they're typically talking to are 2 or 3 rings out from where a development is currently going on. So a visual to that is drop a pebble in downtown and follow the ripples, and you want to be 2 or 3 ripples out beyond current development.
Okay.
Those people are your farm owners, an investor that bought maybe too long ago, needs to let go of it. And I'm able to try and pick up something about half of what a current developer is paying, whatever that number may be. So that's where you get that half. We like to double our money in 3 years.
So not necessarily a distressed property, but maybe something that someone's inherited. They haven't looked at selling it. Now they have an opportunity to sell.
Actually, both.
Okay.
Would be the correct answer to that. We have picked up properties, as Senior mentioned, from banks that were being foreclosed on. We've been able to do that, or infuse capital into someone that needs to exit their property.
Is there a minimum land size that you will purchase?
Not acreage size. It's driven by capital, the purchase price. We do have a floor for our funds that we make it viable to purchase, about $2 million.
Once you purchase one tract, then you kind of go to the people that live around there and see if you can piece some more to it?
If I can, yes. Right now I'm looking at 2 tracts that are adjacent to something that's already been purchased that by a developer. So if I can piggyback on them with the utility district that Senior was mentioning, that's even better for me.
All right, sounds good. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the development of the land, and because I think that a lot of consumers don't realize the time frame it takes from the time of taking that raw land and then actually putting houses on it. There's a significant amount of time and work and effort that goes into that, a lot of planning, and so it's not as easy as just let's go build some more houses because we have shortages. So we're going to talk more about that when we come back, and we'll talk a little bit more about where you find this land as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio.